Welcome back, my friends, to TFT Hyperroll with Autarch, and this video is a result of a question that was asked during last week's live by VN Hyperdice TV, and I'm calling it out specifically because they have a channel that is also dedicated to Hyperroll, and if it lets me link it above, I'm going to link it above or down in this description below, wherever it will let me link it. I think it's important that everyone subscribe to the Hyperroll channel so we can show that the community is strong and they're not going to take it away from us. But this video, this build, this is what you wanted to see, so I probably don't do it the way you would have done it based on the videos of yours I've seen, but I gave it a shot. I didn't go into this video with anything pre-planned. I'm just trying to make sort of entertaining content, and I have a few more that I can now post because I've been working on transition videos. So here I just took 1, 2, 3s because I had no clue. And then I saw a Autarch and a Lux, and then in one roll I will get the Disco Nami and went, okay, you know what? I can try this EDM disco build that VN Hyperdice TV mentioned. First, we'll open our anvil that everyone's getting, and I'm going to go for frontline items and get Eternal Winter, as I feel that will probably be best for this build, and put it on Autarch for now because why not? Ultimately, this build is very, very, very close to Disco Dazzler, the only difference being that you're going to be bringing in all 4 EDMs into the mix rather than necessarily focusing on other traits. Ultimately, as I was doing this, I thought this could fit together really nicely. I'm likely going to use Nami as an item holder for AP items for either Lux or Twisted Fate down the line, depending which headliner I can get that fits. Item-wise, since I'm pretty good with tank items, I'm going to head over towards AP items, so something like Tear of the Goddess will come in. The key is going to be that we really have 3 very viable headliners that we can switch to later in the game. Now, Hyperdice, please correct me if my thinking is wrong, but the way I was looking at this is I was either going to go for a Lux headliner if I was in danger of getting a gold 3-star Lux, otherwise I'd be looking for Zac or Twisted Fate in Stage 8. For the next set of augments, I see Frequent Flyer, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to take it, but I roll everything else just in case something jumps out that I absolutely cannot ignore. Then, get offered a Tome of Traits. This could change a lot of things depending on what it is. I'm going to itemize Nami a little bit first, then we have a Dazzler emblem. This will be good in a Disco Dazzler / EDM build because I can ultimately put it on someone who is going to be able to do additional damage because Dazzler is a burn trait. And I'm honestly not sure at this point who to put the Dazzler emblem on because we want it on someone who's going to hit multiple targets. A single target Dazzler isn't going to do as much since, again, it's got a burn element to it. So as I haven't seen enough Luxes, or really any other Luxes since the one I got at the beginning, the concept of using Lux as a headliner is pretty gone. That means I'm going to be waiting for 8 and hoping to get either Zac, Twisted Fate, or Blitzcrank. But I am going to keep building out the AP because when Twisted Fate comes in, I'm definitely going to want to give him really good AP items. I had put in Set for 1 round, but now Blitz can come in, we now have our 2 balls, and we can reposition everyone. Now at this point I would love to find another Autarch so that I can move the tank items over to Blitzcrank or ultimately over to Zac, depending on how that goes. I would also like to find somebody for that Dazzler emblem, but it doesn't really fit on anyone just yet. And then we get to see what's in this golden orb, and it's a boot. Thank you, loot subscription. It is time to look at our final set of augments, and there is nothing in this first group but Crash Test Dummies. I don't care how many times they nerf it, I still love it. It works great in just about any build you can pick it up in. Now I've picked up a Zac and decided to make him the other Dazzler, because at least he's going to hit multiple people. He bounces on 3, so we will put some burn on 3 people along with what Lux is doing, and since we found a Twisted Fate, brought him in as well. I thought this match was lost, but turns out we won and knocked that player out. Now that we've entered Stage 8, it is time to dump our headliner and try to find someone who will fit into this comp. The Lux is tempting. The problem is we only have another 2-star Lux, so I decide to go past it and just keep on looking. I would have been more willing to try it if I had another couple of Luxes or 2-2-stars and it went straight to 3, but I hold on and I end up with a Twisted Fate with a Dazzler. So now we can end up going to the 6 Dazzlers and still bring in all the EDMs. It is time for the final individual item choice, and we are looking at just adding a little bit more AP to this team. Let's get a Rabadon's Death Cap on Twisted Fate. We have also picked up a Zed who can come into the game in the next round, and that will give us our 4 EDM. We can't get to 5 because we didn't get an EDM headliner. One thing I really liked about this combination as I played this match is how everything fit together so well. With the EDM and the Dazzler, you're putting a lot of burn on people, and then having Twisted Fate in the back, yeah, he can just finish stuff off. It is time for an item choice, and it's a tough one because I'd love to put more power on Lux, but I want that front line to hold up as long as possible. So we're going to give Blitz a Dragon's Claw so he can keep more people in place, and then we find a 2-star Zac. We have our last 2 champions ready to go. Zed and Ziggs are going to come in. Zed to complete EDM and Ziggs to complete Dazzler. We just have to get to stage 10 in order to make that happen, but Twisted Fate is going to help us get there. And loot subscription sometimes, I don't know, gave me a spatula at the end. Didn't have anything really to use it with, but we got a spatula. I'm going to continue to work on keeping that front line strong so Zac gets a redemption so he can have a little more power. At this point, I'm very close to a gold 3-star Twisted Fate, so I'm picking up 4s in the hopes that I can get it to give me the last one. Right now, everything is holding up really well and going pretty much the way I want it. Those crash test dummies were absolutely key in holding things back for a moment, allowing the EDM to go, which I am keeping at Lux so I can get as much burn as possible out there, because having those light beams go across the entire board is priceless. Time for an item choice, and we're going to go ahead and enhance Lux's power a little bit and grab a Rabadon's Death Cap, as our tanks are pretty tanky now. And one look at this team and I know we have a problem. It's a rapid fire Punk Guardian team with Yorick as the Punk, because they saved up for that spatula and were able to make use of it. We have now made it to stage 10 and we can complete the entire build by bringing in Ziggs. From that choice of items, best was to go with a little more tankage, and then we get the gold 3-star Twisted Fate that is going to help seal this all up. We're going to go ahead and grab a Spear of Sojin for Ziggs so he can do a little extra damage, and that is another Dazzler adding some burn. And as you can see, this was an incredibly competitive lobby as 6 people made it into stage 10. Usually we're into the top 4 by now, but after this fight, enough will get knocked out that we are guaranteed to be into the top 4. And we draw the Ghost team for our first fight, which I am glad about, but I am most worried about running into that Punk Yorick at the end of this match, because I believe that team still might have the power to get through us, even with a 3-star Twisted Fate doing that much damage. And of course, as luck would have it, who are we up against? Yep, it is the 6 rapid fire 5 Punk team with the Punk Yorick. They have a very strong Jinx in the back line. Their one weakness in my mind is the front line. They don't have enough Guardians to hold us back, so when our crash test dummies get in there and the Lux ults start flying, Twisted Fate is able to take over and do enough damage to knock them down and give us a shot at this win. And they ended up dumping their headliner to try to get a 3-star Yorick, but they were not going to get it in time. I was watching just in case I needed to dump mine to try to get a 3-star Ziggs, because I had 2 stars ready to go. But when I saw that they had to hit 3 Yoriks in a matter of a few seconds, I knew I was safe to not have to do anything crazy at that point. I really like this combination, especially with the additional Dazzler, because it gave us a lot of burn. So thank you, VN Hyperdice TV. Hope everyone goes over there and subscribes and enjoyed this video. And as always, have an absolutely awesome day.